Bam. There we have it. So, yeah, that's pretty much the best way. You can always make sure when you are delivering a record to a client, they're most likely going to say it sounds good and we don't want to go anywhere else. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Erickson Presents Mixing Tutorials. And today we're going to talk about one of the things that an engineer needs to always remember when they are working on music. So let's just get right to it. So one of the things about being an engineer that you are going to have to learn is that it is not about you. Okay. I have mixed a lot of songs for a lot of people, and I have people who are so excited about my mixes and they tell everyone that my mixes are dope, or they say I'm the best engineer that they've worked with and they don't want to go anywhere else. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but there's a reason why they say that. And I'm going to tell you that reason right now. So when I work with a client, my number one goal is to give them exactly what it is that they want. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that I like it, but if they love it, then I gave them the right product. Okay. So that's what I mean by it is not about you, or if I was saying it to myself, it's not about me. I'll mix something a certain way, and in my mind, I'm like, this sounds amazing, but they'll be like, it sounds different. Now, if a person says to you that it just doesn't sound the same, I'm going to tell you the reason why they're saying that, and I'm going to tell you how to combat that. So if they're telling you that it doesn't sound the same, it's simply because whatever rough mix that they were bounced out when they did the session, that's what they've been listening to. And when it's mixed, it could sound different from what the rough sounded like. But in their mind, they're familiar with the rough mix. The rough mix isn't even mixed properly, but they're familiar with it. So if they're familiar with it and they hear something that sounds different, their brain signals are going to tell them that something's wrong, even though it may not be something wrong. So here's how you get around that. If you're the person who's doing the session, don't give them a rough mix. Simple as that. I will have this ready for you 2 days tops. Now, a lot of artists, they understand and they don't really question it. They just say, okay, I trust that you're going to do what you can do. And then when you send them that mix, whatever it is that you come with, that's going to be their first reference of what it should sound like. So they'll be more accepting to, whatever it is that you did. The second option is what I normally do, because I don't usually record all the songs that I mix. How I deal with that is how I dealt with it in this song right here, Shots. I'm going to bring up the artwork. I will leave this link in the description, and you can actually go and check it out. So Shots by JV and Demo. Okay, so here we go. Bam. When I get a song that I did not mix and they tell me that they want to mix, I always ask for their reference mix or their rough mix, or I just want to hear what you've been listening to this entire time. If I can hear what you were listening to and I can recreate what you were trying to go for, then that's going to be the best of both worlds. You are going to actually say, this actually sounds like what I've been listening to, but it's also going to be mixed correctly and it's going to sound better. So it's like a win-win for everybody. So when you hear something that's familiar to your ear, the first thing you're going to say is, dang, this engineer's dope. He's the best engineer, or she's the best engineer. I don't want to go to anybody else because they always make sure my music sounds good. In actuality, what I'm doing is making sure your music sounds familiar to you. That's literally what I'm doing. So that's why I asked for a reference mix. So we're going to pull up this song, Shots, that I mixed. I'll leave links in the description so you can go check it out and listen to it in its entirety. I knew I was about to fumble that one. But anyways, let's see. We're going to start off with their version that they gave me, and then I'll cut back and forth between their version and my version, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the difference, but it won't sound different. It'll just sound like an enhanced invert. Damn, bruh. I just recorded a whole nother video series that I realized didn't record. So I'm kind of annoyed right now, but I got to go back and do that one. Anyhow, so y'all know what I'm gonna do. I ain't gotta say it. So let's play it. Okay, let's go to here.
Let's take some shots tonight. Smoke a little weed, I might. Get you in my sheets tonight. Live in the moment, baby, we can get it bumping. Turning nothing into something. Got you drunk from my loving. Baby, come take a ride with me. I could be your ecstasy.
Look, champagne, bottles popping, panties dropping, medicated, them drugs on another level.
Okay, so let's go through the thought process. They gave me this record. What goes through my mind, because you're going to start doing these type of things, because I know this is going to work for you. What I heard is they wanted the vocal to be very clear. They wanted it up front, and they because they turned it up. The vocal in that mix sounds like it's detached from the beat. Now this is a beat, 2-track beat. So, if you haven't seen how I make my vocals mesh together with 2-track beats, I'll link that somewhere in this video so you can go and check that out. But anyways, that was one thing I noticed. The other thing I noticed is they wanted that heavily compressed sound. When I mix my vocals, I mix them a little more fat, a little more natural. That's just my preference. So had I went with my own take on that, it might not have been something that they would have liked, because what I heard there was an overcompressed vocal. Now, when I say overcompressed, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. I mean, everybody has their opinion on vocals being overcompressed or not. To me, that is a style. It's a more aggressive style. So my goal was to take that concept, make the vocal very clear, overcompress it, but make it sound like it's a controlled overcompress, so that it just makes sense. And it sounded pretty bright. And then I heard, once we got to the verse, I heard a lot of reverb around.
Look, champagne, bottles popping, panties dropping, medicated, them drugs on another level. Tell your nigga that I can treat you better. Late night conversation for that pussy getting wetter, huh? You want it all, we got.
Yeah. So if you listen to that, you can hear that the vocal is very clear, but the music is kind of detached. So we came with my version, which I will start over from the same spot. And you might hear a boost in volume. You might hear, but it's the same concept.
Let's take some shots tonight. Smoke a little weed, I might. Get you in my sheets tonight. Live in the moment, baby, we can get it bumping. Turning nothing into something. Got you drunk from my loving. Baby, come take a ride with me. I could be your ecstasy.
Look, champagne, bottles popping, panties dropping, medicated, them drugs on another level. Tell your nigga that I can treat you better. Late night conversation for that pussy getting wetter, huh? You want it all, we gotta travel the world. Said I love you, all natural, finish with curls, huh?
Over here pressing the wrong button. So yeah, the difference between the versions, obviously I tuned the vocal. I added some autotune. I think that's all I did. All I did was add autotune. The reason why I didn't pull up the actual session is because it's so big, because I mastered it in the same session, that it doesn't play without glitching. So it's just gonna take too much. But anyways, I can still talk about what I did. So I mean, all I pretty much did was recreated that whole overcompressed feel, but then I also just mixed it in with the music to make the music sound like it was a part of the vocal, and the vocal was a part of the music. So yeah, that was pretty much how I did it. But if you listen to like the difference between them, like you can tell it was a enhanced version of what they were going for, which is why I feel like it works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to I'm going to start with their version, and then I'm just going to flip back and forth through mine as the song plays, so that you can just really exaggerate the difference and the similarities. Okay. All right, here we go.
Let's take some shots tonight. Smoke a little weed, I might. get you in my sheets tonight. Live in the moment, baby, we can get it bumping. Turning nothing into something. Got you drunk from my loving. Baby, come take a ride with me. I could be your ecstasy.
Look, champagne, bottles popping, panties dropping, medicated, them drugs on another level. Tell your nigga that I can treat you better. Late night conversation for that pussy getting wetter, huh? You want it all, we gotta travel the world. Said I love you, all natural, finish with curls, huh? Catch the wave, we gon' ride into the sunset. She hold it down, she always text me that I'm up. Man, I'm too real for you niggas, so I threw it in my name. Too loyal for these bitches, I can't trust her to do the same, huh? She come.
Bam, there we have it. So, yeah, that's pretty much the best way. You can always make sure when you are delivering a record to a client, they're most likely gonna say it sounds good and we don't want to go anywhere else, because you're literally giving them a version of what they did or what they're used to, and it's that simple. I know it's like a cheat code. I know it sucks. It sucks because it's like, damn, was it really that simple? Yes, it is. Anyhow, I will catch you guys in the next one. Deuces. Actually, I got some videos coming. I do have some videos coming, so be prepared because I do have some videos coming. All right.